His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
I see in the next few months a nicer country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come.
Mr. President, recently we witnessed the demolition of the CDC headquarters in Comot Town, which was carried out through a court order. How does the administration ensure that such enforcement action are done fairly and without political interference?
The law is the law. It's not the government. It's the government implementation of the law. The police were ordered to do it, and they did it. If that demolition is removal of the people from premises that don't belong to them according to the law. It's not the government. It's the government implementation of the law. The police were ordered to do it, and they did it. If that demolition is removal of the people from premises that don't belong to them according to the law.
Why will George Weah, who is tempted by Joseph Boakai, who was drowning in his Egypt land, who was dead, very red up, dirty, stink, you could find him passing around, practically dead and useless. Why will such a man conduct make you Weah vex that you will struck the work and then lose God's own mission to take you to the promised land? That was the test of time today for George Weah. If George Weah had reacted, he would have fallen in the place of Moses.
The Liberian National Police commends the Congress for Democratic Change for the discipline, calm, and statesmanship demonstrated during the recent eviction process. Their respect for the rule of law, despite the deep sentimental value and history attached to the property, reflects a maturity that strengthens Liberia's democracy. This movement is not only a testament to CDC's leadership, but also a reminder to all political institutions and citizens that our democracy grows stronger when lawful decisions are honored peacefully.
Today, you have a rebel police director who thinks that he has arrived. And the worst thing about all these people, they all benefited from the magnanimity of George Weah. Ranging from people on the bench of the Supreme Court, they got letters from George Weah. If some of them choose to pay him back with evil, it's up to them. The very Gregory Coma today, he worked in the previous administration when Weah came. He also got another letter again. If he chooses to do what he's doing, it's up to him. But one thing I can tell you for sure is this is how Weah had always been molded. That's how God has already molded Weah and catapult him into success. He will suffer rejection, denigration, humiliation. That has been his life. How can you make somebody who has been down the line their shame? The person has gone through shame. They have gone through disgrace. They have done everything they cared. Whatever people thought and were laughing at them, they surmount everything and catapult themselves into becoming someone who is towering that the whole world can look at today. What more can you do? You think you're bringing that person down? You're just hurting yourself. In fact, what you are doing, you are destroying yourself. You know what it takes for you to pride in yourself of being bad? When people are looking for good image, you are happy in becoming a bad person. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. He would never, ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. He would never, ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. He would never, ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. He would never, ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
If there is any difference, you always see it. But I think there is nothing different will be from what I told you before. What I told you before is the real statement. It's a statement of fact. Besides the time he himself stood where he stood judgment and said but it was under the national security. He, Arthur Johnson, said that he made the first interview. The interview was made right in front of the court there. That yeah, the people took the money, they used the money, but they used it for national security. And it was never used for national security. We maintain that money was never used for national security. They took the money, they stole the money in LA. They stole the money in LA. So that's not a national security issue. We know national security. We've been working with the government for long.
Let me make something very quick and clear. The last time the Solicitor General came here and told you people that the defendants in this case have confessed to the crime, that is a lie. It's not true. No one confessed to a crime. There is a difference between confession to criminality, and making a point. Confession to the crime means the man is admitting to the crimes in the indictment that he committed the offense. That is not the case. What happened in this case is that there is a statutory function, or there were statutory functions that were carried out by the former Minister of Finance. That is under section 14.2 of the Public Finance Law. The law says that the Minister of Finance has the authority, statutory authority, to authorize payments that have been recommended by any of the branches of government within the budget.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because their SAR is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country, as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Good afternoon, people. Good afternoon. Thank you so very kindly that you join us. Real Talk Kings 88.5 on this 18th day of March 2026, the reign of Judah Christopher. What a day. Thank you so very much. Great day it is. Yes, we've got the bits and pieces. We've got the issues, the contradictions we expose, the lines we bring to you. Just everything, the hypocrisy of the Unity Party government. Another day is called Wednesday midweek, the day of the world's greatest thing, FC Barcelona, not only winning, but moving from the no to the no against Newcastle at 5:45 Liberian time. I'm Sam Andrews. As always, Sam Andrews. To God Almighty, the creator and sustainer of the universe. He's a good God, faithful God, never reneging on his promises, but he fulfilled every word that he uttered in the fullness of his time. It's a good God. He kept watch over us last night, and he has set us into this day. It's an obligation to do his will, and his will is to get his society better, whether the government likes it or not, whether Mr. President likes it or not, or he gets vexed, whether his ministers and every other people. Ironically or interestingly, this place is not a dynasty of Mr. President, not family dynasty. This is the Republic of Liberia, in which everybody is responsible for keeping it right. That is why when something is happening, what do you hear the government say? Oh, the citizens, everyone has to come out to speak. So it's our responsibility. This is not one person's affair. So again, thank you so very kindly, man. Great people you are. Welcome, all of you. Emmanuel Sion, Bohemian Lehman, D15, Hilton Wule Logan Town, Alexander Dolly, Tennessee, USA, Samson Carey, Bernardsville, District 11, the Presidential Palace of the Regime Speaker, Agnes Kennedy. Yes, it's FCB all the way today. 5:45, Agnes at 5:45. We're not playing in the night. No, they gave us day. So we accepted it. They gave night to Real Madrid, and that was a scandal last night. It's a robbery, but it doesn't happen on one field. It doesn't happen with one referee. Do you people hear Vinicius complaining? You're observing. When everything is going well with Vinicius, then nobody is chanting racism against him. Nobody is calling him monkey. Nobody is calling him all kinds of names. But when life is against him, then he finds fault. You saw last night he was enjoying himself laughing. But watch the next game against Bayern Munich. Once they start giving him hard time, he will start to play on the referee, running to referee. And listen, if I were the referee, every time that man runs, we give him a card. Every time he runs, give him a card. The last card will be red card. Give him 4 red cards. So it's 5:45 right after the show. Ray Isaki's FM. We're watching here. FCB. Natu Star, Japan Freeway, J. Henry now. That's Fender Car Field, Jeremiah Labla, Soul Clinic Community, Masare Abdullah, JJY Community, Kato, Kaboto, Ominga Community, Kogwe Wida, Mangibi County, Emmanuel Bro, Minnesota, USA. Hold on to that, Emmanuel Bro is on the list. One of the talking points. T. Max Zuckerberg Wule, District Titan, Philip Tukpa, Dallas, Texas, USA, Fifth Kevin Bappin, Nimba United, Ruth Bodwobine, Phoenix, Arizona, USA, Moray, Zodua, Mecklin Street, Waterside, Boyman, Benin, UBA Bank, Prince, Soccer, Colorado, USA, Bentigua Jr., Nima County, Tawali, Cam, Rehab, Turning Point, Paris Lobot, New Jersey, USA, Papi Keita, Dupont Road, Munsa H. Sharif, Sophie Community, Silva, Washington, Broadway City, Lucia Lacay, Dupont Road, Flexible Guard General, Jeff Kumante, Musa A. Sharif, Sophie, Congo Town, Alice Williams, District 10, Eugene Jobo, Capital Bypass, Stanley Bozo, Congress City, Malu Fofana, 20th Street, Heron, Tito Jr., Caldwell, your residence, Jokontichie, Business Center, Lynch Street, your business center, that's Johnson Street. Okay. Rita Christian Hits, Massachusetts, USA. Gabriel, that's Godson from Iron Factory, Aberport, Dupont Road, Painesville. All right. The names are running down like river running down the hill. My dear sister Orita Sunday Way Choir, you are on. Hope that you are faring well. I know you are. Welcome to the show. Let's have a great time together. And the president or chairman of Block 13 Intellectual Center, Roman Rico, Kenneth Ball, or Latupan, for short, District 13 Intellectual Center chairman. Welcome, all of you great people. So let's get out of Liberia briefly, and then we are back into Liberia to talk the contradictions of the government. Nothing absolutely. It is a known fact. Everybody knows, the international community knows that the government is vindictive. The government plan is clear. Go after those who are not sing praising on to Joseph Yeman Boakai. If you are an opposition person and you praise singing Joe Boakai by telling he's doing well, he's better, his government is better than George Weah government messed the country up, then they're not going to touch you. But if you are an opposition and you are talking and you are being critical of Joe Boakai, that you become a target to be pursued. Hold on to that. Let's get out of Liberia. Suspected jihadist militants have killed at least 12 people, including 9 volunteer fighters, during an attack on a village in Burkina Faso. That's according to local sources. The country continues to grapple with years of violence carried out by groups linked to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State. The assault is part of a recent surge in attacks targeting both the military and civilian volunteers. An Al-Qaeda affiliated group, JNIM, has claimed responsibility for similar incidents in which more than 130 people have been killed in recent weeks. Despite the ongoing violence, the military-led government maintains that it has gained control over much of the territory and facilitated the return of many displaced citizens. The UK and Rwanda will face off at the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague over a scrap migration deportation deal. Rwanda's government is seeking more than 128 million. It says the UK still owes. The deal, agreed in 2022 under former Prime Minister Boris Johnson, to send migrants arriving in the UK to Rwanda, was ruled unlawful and scrapped in 2024 by Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who declared it dead and buried. Despite the UK already paying about 371 million, Rwanda claims 2 outstanding payments of 64 million each, plus around 8 million to cover housing vulnerable refugees, and it is demanding a formal apology. The dispute comes amid strained relations after the UK caught aid over allegations that Rwanda backs M23 rebels in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which Kigali denies. A Zimbabwean senior government official, Manga Kabika, has alleged that certain political parties are coercing women seeking nomination ahead of the August 13 elections to provide sexual favor. Kabika, who is the civil service head of the gender division in the president's office, did not name the said parties, but has encouraged affected women to document incidents and report cases of what he termed sextortion. Women continue to be underrepresented in Zimbabwe's political sphere, with only about 15% of parliamentary seats held by women, an imbalance rooted in long-standing cultural and structural barriers. Although there has been progress such as the rise of Vice President Montuli Nalomango, gender inequality remains widespread across leadership positions. On August 19, Zambians will vote for the president, members of parliament, councillors, and council chairpersons. And in January, Uganda held presidential election, the results of which were widely seen as controversial, with extensive report of irregularities and lack of transparency. President Yoweri Museveni, who has ruled that country for 40 years, was declared the winner. Both the opposition candidate Bobby Wine rejected the results as fake. His home was raided by state security forces, but he managed to escape and went into hiding. Although he revealed that he fled Uganda along with his family, he said it is just a temporary move. Bobby Wine spoke to BBC Owen Bella Jones and asked him whether it was true that he managed to get out of Uganda.
Yes, I can confirm that I'm outside of Uganda and I'm out of danger, at least out of reach of the Ugandan regime.
Can you tell us where you are?
I cannot reveal where I am now, but I will be able to reveal in the coming hours.
I see. And just to clarify exactly what's been happening, you've been in hiding, basically, in Uganda for 2 months until what, today or yesterday?
I cannot reveal the exact time or day or location that I used to leave Uganda, because that would land so many people in trouble. But I can confirm that I'm out of Uganda.
Without compromising those people who protected you, can you tell us how it was possible for someone such as yourself, a very prominent citizen of Uganda, to be able to hide for 2 months? It's incredible.
Well, people concealed me. People gave me food. People gave me clothing and everything else.
Is your family with you?
I cannot talk about my family right now, but my family left long before me.
Okay, so you're all out?
Yes, yes.
I see.
I will speak more about this in the coming hours.
Okay. Now, the president and his son have been very clear, particularly the son. President Museveni's son has been very clear about what he wants to do with you. He wants to kill you, he says. What sort of fears did you have of the security forces as they were chasing you around Uganda?
It was clear that the regime wanted to eliminate me. That is what General Museveni has always wanted to do and has tried many times, including when my driver was killed in Arua. Only that his son has made it clearer without any filters. I know that even if I'm out of Uganda, I am still not safe, because I know that I'm being pursued. I'm being pursued by a regime that has everything it needs. A regime that is also able to, pursue its political enemies wherever they are. Right now, as we speak, I can claim that I'm safe, but you can imagine how hard it was for me, knowing the relationship that General Museveni has with all the neighbors around,
Just to explain what you're saying that President Museveni has been in power so long, he has good relationships with a lot of neighboring countries that could turn you in, basically.
Yeah, you have seen it many times. However, I was able to make it out. I can confirm that I was able to make it out using one of the big countries around. We also have a network as NUP. We have a network of comrades in around countries that made it possible for me.
The NUP being the National Unity Platform, your political party.
Yes, please.
Can I ask you? I mean, you've been a very successful person. You've obviously got money. You don't need to do this. Why are you doing it?
Because there's no option. Because the money does not mean anything if I am not free. You know, there's nothing like a rich slave, especially on your own land. You know, it does not make sense for just me to make it out of the ghetto. You know, when I was living in the ghetto, we used to say we work hard not to leave the ghetto, but to make the ghetto a better place to live for everybody. Everybody has to be all right for me to be all right. That is how it works. All these countries that we are running to, it does not matter how rich or poor you are, but see if the systems work. I want to live free and to see my people free.
When you left in the last few hours, have said that you've nominated and named your deputy to take over the presidency of the National Unity Platform whilst you're away. You said this is a temporary absence, but whilst you're away, you've named your successor, as it were. Are you afraid about their safety?
Of course, we are afraid for everybody's safety. I mean, my deputy president, who is now going to be in charge of the party, has just left prison. She was abducted a day before the election, and she was held in a military prison for almost 2 months. So she just got out of prison a few days ago, but she's always up and ready to take the challenge. And I'm so honored to be working with her. And she'll be guiding and leading on ground while I'll be guiding and leading from wherever I will be.
This is Lena Zedriga, your deputy.
That is Dr. Lena Zedriga.
What is your message to President Museveni?
My message to President Museveni is that we are not his enemies. We are just children of the circumstances that he created. We just want to be in a better country, in a free country. We just want to see what he promised us in our lifetime. When he was my age, he was being chased by President Obote for the exact reason. Now, 40 years later, we are the ones running away, running for our lives. Our parents did not fight and died for a monarchy. They fought and died for a country that will make life better for their children and their posterity. That is what we are fighting for. That is what we are going to die for if we must die.
Ugandan opposition exiled leader Bobby Wine. Opposition finds it difficult everywhere. That's what the government here wants to do. This is no bragging, no polishing, no sounding diplomatic. The signs are clear, except that you don't know. This government hasn't been comfortable with the leading opposition in this country, former President George Weah. They aren't dismissive, even though they are pretending, but they know that he is a heavyweight politically. They know that electorally he has all of the advantages at his disposal. They know that their president might not just be on the ballot. They're not too sure of that. We know based on what coming from within. And there isn't a phase to confront and face former President George Weah head on. So they've started to devise different plans by which in the build up to 2029, there are a number of things that will be unfolding. Opposition never have a free or a unique atmosphere, even though the ruling establishment will portray it as being democratic, but they always create a hostile atmosphere. They always come with intimidatory strategies. They come up with threats. They come up with a lot more. What you see unfolding in Uganda and other countries, I can tell you for sure, you will not have all of those characteristics politically unfolding in Liberia going into 2029, but you will have some. It will be foolhardy as I sit here to tell you that none of those things will happen, except Unity Party don't want to go for a second term. That's the only way. Secondly, except they have not tasted power, no African president, no African government takes power and we want to move. Leave it. Only one person in this history, that's the whole world. That's the reason why the whole world credits him, former President George Weah. Beyond him, who has that record? Nobody. Apart from the European people, American, and other countries, no African country has that record. Only George Weah. Now, if anybody would think that George Weah will not come back, it's just an illusion. You would think that way, but the government itself is not thinking that way. The government has now accepted that its mind game is not working again. They have not now turned to solving the uneasiness within the government, the confusion within the government, and it all because not much is working for the government. Yesterday, I told you people, and this is a factor, nothing works for Unity Party as long as Mr. President continue to sit in this place. You can go Guinea 500 times. You can go Guinea, you can go Sierra Leone 600 times. It's different from moving out to face multilateral partners, to face investors of different degrees and magnitude. Former President Weah was facing those people, convincing them. Former President Sirleaf was facing those people and convincing them. And we saw the dividend. We saw the results that were coming from those. This one, he sits, and you think it's going to happen in a twinkling of an eye? Well, but just so you know, though some of those things going to happen in Uganda, the guy is a wealthy man. He's not a poor opposition. Just as George Weah is not a poor opposition. Listen, one of the reasons the government don't really have problem with you, they don't see you as a prime target when they know that you are poverty-stricken. And that's what government use when people try to form merger, coalition, association. They look at people who are belly-driven. They look at politicians who have no integrity, and they use them as a bait to neutralize that group. They put in a political bait. Bobby Wine in Uganda is a wealthy guy. You heard Owe Bella Jones. He say, can I ask you this question? You got money, you got everything. What do you want to? Simply say, yeah, you can just leave it and go for your life's sake. He said, you get money, you have everything. I hope I can get that part again. Are
you afraid about their safety?
I want to live free
to do this.
Uh-huh.
Why the National Unity Platform, your political party?
Yes, please.
Listen to Owen Bella Jones asking him that question. Some people, when we was coming, people ask that thing, is about the mayor get money? What you want to do with president say again? What you want to do? So people stay asking that same question. But George Weah, you get money. Yeah, why you can't just lead a thing? Yeah, let the people. That's how some people think. Yeah, and listen, and it's good because many people will think that you come to the presidency because you want. And you see, Bobby Wine, they know Bobby Wine very well. Bobby Wine lived in the ghetto. He became a musical star. He generated money. He could have said, but he said, what good is the money? When you are grounded in opposition financially, the government is afraid of you. Listen to Owen Bella Jones asking him the question, you got money, you can just leave this thing.
Can I ask you, I mean, you've been a very successful person. You've obviously got money. You don't need to do this. Why are you doing it?
Because there's no option. Because the money does not mean anything if I am not free. There's nothing like a rich slave, especially on your own land. It does not make sense for just me to make it out of the ghetto, when I was living in the ghetto, we used to say we work hard not to leave the ghetto, but to make the ghetto a better place to live for everybody.
So let's turn to Liberia. The Chief Justice, the anomaly of the Chief Justice or the Chief Justice accomplice, as an accomplice, rather. The Chief Justice in the ceremony yesterday, apparently he wanted to sound like he's so perfect and he is the only person who maybe in the judiciary is error-free. And he didn't know that he was contradicting himself. He announced the dismissal of 3 persons from his office, according to him, for forgery. The allegation came out, according to the Chief Justice, Yami Gwese, Unity Party Chief Justice, and an investigation was launched. The investigation found the 3 individuals guilty. So he took a decision to dismiss them. What is the rationale or the deterrent when the people cannot be prosecuted? Forgery under our law is a grave crime. Just dismissing them means the Chief Justice is an accomplice to the crime also, because it is prosecutable. Let's stop this thing in our culture. When something is, when it is our interest, we protect it. Then it is no longer the law is the law. When it is against another person, then the law ready to take its course and everybody screaming. The law is the law. If someone forges, according to him, the signature of a judge, it's grave. Forgery is a criminal offense. Though it is not an exclusive article within our Constitution, but it falls under Chapter 15 of the Penal Law of Liberia, Title 26, Liberian Code Revised. It is a grave crime. It is punishable. First, by prosecution. It's not an ordinary thing. It is classified as a felony involving intentional deception, alteration, and fabrication of documents or objects. Not only that, but a person commits forgery or counterfeiting with the purpose of deceiving, of harming an institution, a government, a person, purposefully to gain. How is it that these people cannot be prosecuted? Who is best suited to put those 3 individuals up for prosecution? The man who superintends the legal sector of the country, the chief lawyer of the Republic of Liberia. No one is best suited to clean the system than the Chief Justice. Yet the Chief Justice announced political dismissal, because that is not a legal dismissal. A legal dismissal puts you forth for prosecution to exonerate yourself. A political dismissal say go home, go sit down. A political dismissal say administrative leave. A legal dismissal put you forth that you exonerate yourself. How can you have the Chief Justice dismissing 3 individuals within his office or from his office, his own staff, according to him, forge a judge signature? And those people he dismissed, and he announced the dismissal, saying he's not the kind of person that will entertain XYZ, and he does not want political position when he's out of the Chief Justice role. He does not want anything again. Who asked him about that? you could tell that the Chief Justice's conscience was not clear. Just for insult, Prophet Key is in jail. He sent Prophet Key to jail for 6 months, which is very devilish. I cannot tell you that it is excessive because everybody knows that it is excessive. There is no law specifically that said if a person uses this expression, he goes to jail for 6 months. He used his position authoritatively, arbitrarily. But these people in his office, the same thing. I can say Prophet Key is by far less. Forgery is a grave crime. And the Chief Justice said, you go. That's unity party government, but it's good because all of these things are being documented. If this can come from the Chief Justice of the Republic of Unity Party, the international community is documenting. When the people release a damning report on the judiciary, then the fanatics will come up. Oh, the people just did. The people just died. How can you? What is the deterrent? Dismissal is not a deterrent. Prosecution is deterrent. Why are they prosecuting Samuel Tuer? Why are they prosecuting the other people? What are they saying? The law is the law. So the law is only applicable to opposition people, and the law is not applicable to Unity Party people. You look at the man who sits at the RIA, was accused of widespread corruption, extortion, malfeasance, and then you told the man to take administrative leave, he goes to sit down. You look at Ombudsman, Fine Kanga, because Fine Kanga is the brother, biological brother, to Pro-Tem Yomli Kanga Lawrence. You shield him, you say resign. But that if that was another person, everybody, the law is the law. The law is the law. And God will continue to expose you people. Everybody knows that Unity Party is vindictive. Everybody knows that Unity Party is targeting the opposition. And that's why you're failing along the way. This place is not a place of mumu. It's a place of literate people. It's a place of literate people. It's not about your title. Because that's how some of you people see it. It's not because you are a Chief Justice, so you flout, you impose, you bring down the Machiavellian theory. You should be leading by example. You send Prophet Key to jail. You say the law is intended to clean the system. You people will clean the system. You're in your very office. In your very office. You know what a forgery is? It means you're not paying the people right. The people are not taking pay good, so they try to do something to get money. You, as the Chief Justice, not even a lawyer, not even a judge, not even a lawyer that people will try to understand, but the Chief of the Justices, the Superintendent of the legal sector of the country. You find people in your office doing such, and then you announce political dismissal. That's what Center for Transparency and Accountability, Central is calling on the Chief Justice to prosecute those people. Bring them back. Send them for prosecution. What kind of Unity Party government is this? So you people yesterday are shouting and screaming all over the place. Is that how empty and dull you people are? You think we did not see what you people were doing? You people were questioning everything. Yeah, you people are. Today, you see how God is exposing you? Petty things. Petty things God is exposing you. You're protecting your own. But the other people, and in life, when you pursue people on grudge ground, it's just a matter of time before you get shame, before disgrace befall you. Let's go to the update. The police, Unity Party Police Director. That's how they used to call the police director in CDC government. And they used to say CDC Police Director. So we say the same thing. Unity Party Police Director. LMP update on Samuel Jackson's wife death. Police IG Gregory Coleman said an investigation is ongoing. The investigation is ongoing. That's what he said. The investigation is going steadily. That Mr. Jackson has been turned in to his lawyers. He is not under house arrest, nor is he quarantined, according to the police director, Gregory Coleman. No. Samuel Jackson, according to the police chief, is not allowed to leave Liberia until the investigation is concluded. If the investigation finds him innocent, all of his rights will be restored. If the investigation finds him culpable, the law will take precedence as it is handling the matter. Let's have a listen to the police IG.
The release of Mr. Jackson to his lawyers. We promise that, Mr. Jackson's rights will be protected under the law. The investigation is ongoing. The autopsy has been conducted. Further analysis is being done. So hopefully in the next 72 hours, we should have all of the results to inform the action that will be taken as it relates to the findings of this investigation. So that's where we are at the moment. Within the next 72 hours, we should have sufficient information to make an informed decision as per the outcome of this case. The official autopsy has been completed. There's more analysis being done. There's more testing that is very, and the information from the testing is very crucial for us to make an informed decision as per what steps to take on that. At this point in time, Mr. Jackson is released to his lawyers as soon as we have additional information on what next to be done. It will be communicated to the public. I can't tell you how soon, because what if the doctor comes back and says he wants to order a toxicology, and that we should form a part of the report. That will require it going overseas for further analysis. For now, that crucial part that we need to make an informed decision can be done here within the 72 hours framework. We should know. But if toxicology is required, they will have to send it out of the country as well. At this point in time, there's no restraining order, but as part of Mr. Jackson's commitment that he will remain in the country for the investigation, he, through his lawyers, surrendered all of his travel documents to the national police. He will be in touch with the police throughout the time of this investigation until we reach a conclusion. Mr. Jackson will not leave the country. His lawyers have guaranteed that this is not a Gestapo operation. There's no secret about it. This is open, transparent process that's ongoing here. Putting in no position on a call for the autopsy, what the law requires, the legal people will review it. It will be granted. We got no position. It's a good thing that they're hiring their own forensic investigator. It is welcome in the investigation. We're not opposed to it. So we got no specific position. The law requires for us to have at least two credible persons are present at that particular from the county. However, we had people from the South African embassy. We had invited them. The forensic team, the pathologist, our homicide investigation team was there as well. I think we met the requirements by law. Notwithstanding that particular stuff that's circulating on Facebook, please ask them, let them show you a return copy, which indicates that it was brought to this office, delivered and signed for. People should stop misleading the public. It should really stop, because if the intent is good, they will ensure that the full process is completed. You can just take a letter and post it on Facebook and say, oh, you submitted it to the Office of the Inspector General of Police. Please ask them if they can show any return copy indicating that it was delivered here. Then it was delivered on Facebook, because I think that part that they want to pull.
Unity Party Police Inspector General Gregory Coleman on the update of the case of Samuel Jackson and his dead wife. CDC statement on Liberia gaining border melee. The party did issue a statement saying patriotism must be prioritized over private interest. For 20 years, Liberia and Guinea have coexisted peacefully. Why the sudden tension? CDC will ask. In their statement, they said, the Coalition for Democratic Change states clearly that patriotism must always come before private interest. At a time when Liberia faces a dangerous and sensitive situation along its border, the nation cannot afford silence, confusion, or the protection of individuals whose actions may be placing the country and its sovereignty at risk. For the last 20 years since the end of the Liberian civil conflict, Liberia and Guinea have coexisted without incidents at our common borders. Why the sudden border tensions? Reports surrounding activities along the Makona River and the tensions now unfolding at Liberia-Guinea border raise serious concerns about whether Liberia's illegal private mining interest on the Makona are being placed above Liberia's national security and sovereignty. Has the Liberian Ministry of Mines and Energy issued any license for mining on the Makona River? The Congress for Democratic Change will ask in a statement. There are widely discussed reports from local communities suggesting that sand mining and other mining activities along the Makona River may be connected to the construction of the reported 10 million project in Weah, which the Liberian government has not shown accountability and transparency on the true nature and purpose of the project. CDC believes that no government official, regardless of position, must be allowed to endanger the security and sovereignty of the Republic. This responsibility rests squarely with President Joseph Yuma Boakai, who must demonstrate leadership at this critical moment. Failure to act decisively in a moment like this sends the wrong message that private interests are more important than the safety of the state. We note and condemn the efforts of the Mana River Union in resolving the situation, but there must be domestic accountability and an inquest on the immediate cause of the current border conflict. National leadership comes with responsibility, transparency, and accountability. Reports of the arrest of Liberian mining equipment on the Makona River by Guinean authorities must be investigated immediately. The status of the Makona River should be clearly defined to prevent a regional conflict. The Congress for Democratic Change therefore reminds all Liberians that we can all be patriotic and still demand full accountability from our government. In fact, this is the highest form of patriotism. For the last 2 years, Liberians have witnessed wanton abuses of their rights by the Unity Party government. The statement concluded, the disregard for the rule of law at home has apparently crossed our borders through alleged illegal mining in the Makona River, triggering a border conflict with neighboring Republic of Guinea. To remain silent while the nation faces danger is not loyalty, it is negligence. Liberia must not be pushed toward conflict because of the actions or interests of greedy public officials. To act now is to protect the Republic. That is patriotism. The statement from the opposition, the leading opposition party in Liberia, the Congress for Democratic Change. let's get to what is just inhumane, and then we can get to the line. Please share the show as many times as you can. No visit to Solomon George family, even not the slightest or the least announcement. Imagine that, people. Since the death of former representative of the House of Representatives, Solomon George, apart from President Joseph Yema Boakai, pretense telephone condolence, and current representative Yeke Koluba going to his house, the rest have decided not to go there. The rest, apart from that pretense telephone condolence, because the main house is in West Point or on the verge or edge of West Point, and the name West Point, people understand it to mean a slum community. So for Boakai status, he can go there because it is a slum community. So they told him just do a telephone call. I wish Jesus was on earth. He was going to go in that slum community and empathize and sympathize with the family of the late Solomon George, representative. But Mr. Boakai, people told him the place is dirty, stink. Just the name, West Point, no need to go there, stay. And his colleagues did not show up. Representative Yeke Koluba was there. That was good. But there is this thing we have in our patronage politics. When the president does something, the rest of the people follow. So Sam Boakai took his telephone, he called. The rest of the people should have taken their telephone and called. But the man did not serve the country from the executive position. He served the country from the legislative sector, the first branch of government. Whether 54, 53, 56, 57, 58, 50, 99, he served his country as representative. It wasn't destined that he will be in this one. How they call this one? What kind of normal? I don't like to call those that thing by normal. Legislature, 53, 56, 57. His destiny, it was destined that he would not be. And he wasn't. It was destined that he would be representative at the time he became representative. It does not matter what party he came from, but he became a representative, serving his country with his expertise. So if one of you pass off, doesn't it show humanity to go there? None of the guys in the House of Representatives and the Senate, none of them, not even Emmanuel Dan, who defeated Solomon George. So we're an appeasement, man. You know, or you're now with us. We ain't got to go there. So yeah, I doubt whether those people will give Solomon George a state burial. I doubt whether. I'm not putting it on the executive, because he wasn't, and he did not serve his country from the executive standpoint. He served his country from the legislature. I doubt whether, because up to now we've been following. We just put it on hold and say, look, these people here, we have doubt about them. They just mess up in everything. So let's observe. Let's see. If these guys The guys in the House of Representatives, especially with a showmanship speaker, will go to that house. It will be in all of the media, all the online people will care. Everybody will know. And Yeke went there. Or everybody know that what Yeke went to. Yeke sat in the yard. Yeke ate. Yeke ate in the yard that the other people consider too dirty thing for them to go there. Yeke sat down there, he ate in that yard with the family. None of those guys in the Senate or in the House of Representatives, they say, yeah, the man, he did not serve this 55th, but he served the Republic of Liberia as representative. Hence, we have to go and empathize and sympathize. He doesn't have to be in the 55th before. If you can show any regard to him now, what kind of tribute you going to give? What will you say? You're just going to get flattery stuff, pretend. It's going to be the most shameful part. None of them. And it was this man that was supporting them lately. They did not show up at all. None of them have ever gone there. None of them. Where is Representative Yeke Koluwa? None of those guys. They have not gone. We see them in other events when the former vice president of Liberia, Joe Howard Taylor's son, died. And you saw avalanche of Liberian politicians going. You saw the guys from the legislature. They went there to express their sympathy. It's not good, oh. It's not good. It's not good. Nobody is saying anything about it. It's not good at all. It's not good, though. Yaka. That level, death can count to one person. Sympathy for everybody. Oh, that's why God who created all the men said it. Oh. The man said, mourn with those who are mourning. Mourn with those who are mourning. That one there, they say a hint to a wise is quite sufficient. That's how I see the other statement. Every time I read that statement in the Bible, the core bone can come and scheme. The men say, mourn with those who are mourning. And my understanding of that statement is you will need people to mourn with you because death will come your way too. Moreover, if you politicize death, people will politicize when death comes your way. If you refuse to identify, people will use it against you and they will not identify with you. The guys are not doing well at all. The men refuse. They say, oh, man, the president, their boss man, the man, your telephone. He call it the son and say, sorry, oh, sorry, your father died. Sorry. Let me just share with you, Honorable Yeke.
So we see you.
This is Yeke. Yeke is in a yard. He went there.
So we see you.
Yeah, lazy there, you guys. You see, all we go. That how God said it. Yeah.
So, folks, good morning. Welcome to Yeke TV. We are live from street.
Let it hear it.
Honorable Sir Claudia Josh, where his colleagues, Honorable Yeke Koluba has come to sympathize with.
Thank you. The rest of the guys, they're sitting in the cozy offices. Very important. But that's the atmosphere that Unity Party created. That's what they created. That's the kind of atmosphere. But let something happen to any one of them in that place or any one of their relatives. You will see the rest. You see, everybody will be going. Everybody. But Solomon George, they said that man plays thing. That man looking at kind of what we're going to do there. That Liberia right there. Typical Liberian people, what you say so. None of them. The man who defeated Solomon George in our District 7, Emmanuel Dan, even go there. But you will go on Front Street, you will go other places, you will go around Hatai Shop, then he send a beginning to they tell a woman to bring kobo, then he sit down, they eating as if he loved the people. Somebody in your district, your colleague, even though you and the man serve, but you in there now. You want to move there as the representative of that district to say sorry to the family. Oh, right now, it's not about culture. But when George Weah apply whatever his wisdom, then you see everybody become a culturalist. Oh, that's not our culture. Our culture call for this. The Liberian culture is when a person dies, you go there and empathize. You go to the person's house. And traditionally, there is no way, no better place to say sorry than at the house, than you think at the church. If you can go to the house to tell the people sorry, that your presence at the church is insignificant. Nobody should take that thing to be serious. No. Look back into life. See how the people will do it. They will get consoled. They will feel comfortable. That relief, they will have it when people consoling them at their house. That's why in the past, the tradition, the people would appreciate going to the house than any place called church. None of them. Till now, today is the 18th. I think they try, because I heard Yeke asking the lady, how is the process going? That is an expression for the preparation leading to his burial. Check the House of Representatives website. You will not see anything leading to the burial of this man. They even won't put it there. You know why? Because the speaker is Unity Party speaker. That man, they still see the man as opposition, even though he was talking for them, but the man join us. Why we come and prioritize the man on our page? You put it. The man died, so some in a way we'll find some in a ceremony. Maybe we'll just bring him around here for 1 hour and then we'll flush him out. But it can happen to one person. Again, stick it in your mind. God said, mourn with those who are mourning. If the man who created the human being they created the war, will say that, then what do you need again? He said, mourn with those who are mourning. Meaning, if you can't, if you think you are Mr. Big Stuff, if you think that you are Mrs. Big Shot or Miss Big Shot or whatever your position, it's just a matter of time. None of them. Have you ever gone to the mayor's house? Have you people seen any one of them there? We live in the world of technology. We are not in the manual age again. So anything doing, Liberian politicians, they let morale, they let publicity. When they get anywhere, you will know. You will know. Yeah, you can went there. And he carry a TV. He carry a TV, you get TV. And the other people pick it up. They spray it on the various pages. So if the speaker, the deputy speaker, and other people went there, if the pro tem and other people went there, the man does, he didn't have to serve in this. Everybody had distinct destiny. He could have been in that time, in this time as representative, but it wasn't destined. What the time God destined, that's the time he became representative. But he gone in the honor of Liberia's political history now, the legislative honor that he was a representative, serving the country, his country. Hence, you have to show that humanness. You have to show that legislative respect. It doesn't have to come from any one of you, or you're waiting for any one of your colleagues to die from the Senate, the House of Representatives, then you'll go there. Maybe that's why you want. That's why you're waiting for. So you see, the mayor was not part of your 55th. So that's the reason why you're showing no regard. But again, that's what it is. So you see, Solomon George, he just wasted. He wasted his last few breaths on earth for these people. You see, they treating him. If that was a Unity Party person, forget it. You get announcement, or you see Unity Party people pulling in. Not a single Unity Party person from the executive. But he was talking for Unity Party. He was advocating for them. He made a definitive position that George Weah would never come back to the presidency. He went from radio station to radio station. He was consistent at it. He praised President Bouaka to the core. He praised President Bouaka. He graded President Bouaka over George Weah. He condemned the government that he worked in. He showered all of the praises and the respect and honor onto President Bouaka, which was his right. Politically, he demonstrated his political favor for them. He gone. Did anyone show respect? The least thing that you ever do, even if the man talks for you for 5 minutes, you want to give him, you want to show that respect and honor, that gratitude. For weeks, months, Solomon George was moving from one end to another. If elections were in 2024 or 2025, Solomon George would have been campaigning for Unity Party everywhere, and they would not have rejected him. They would not have said, "You're from CDC," as they did not say. And they won the almost 2 years, or yes, this government are almost 2 years now since he left. He went out 2023, the very moment he turned against. So he advocated for them for pretty close to 2 years, and he was consistent at it. He was very vocal, and they hailed him, they praised him. The people who were cheering him, and this is why you people have to be very careful, some of you. The people who were cheering Solomon George, in a way, when he comes on the radio or he grants interview to an online media institution, and then you hear them say, "Yeah, George Weah messed the country up. Yes, Solomon George has left him. All the people leaving him. The Unity Party people were excited. Today, where are they? They can never put one consoling line up. That's why you have to be very careful. What you say to and against that hand that gave you life. If you think that you should turn your back by blasting and saying all manner of things against that hand that gave you life because you're going into a paradise, it's just a matter of time before the paradise rejects you. And that's what they're doing to his remains. They don't regard him. Have you ever seen any one of those guys from the executive expressing their condolences, their sympathy over his remains? No. Simply said, why you are doing that your own thing. We didn't need you. We're already in power. We can do it ourselves 2029. We didn't need you. You were just talking out of frustration. Saying you left George Weah, fine. We never express sympathy over you. Your CDC people then can do it. So you'll be putting your neck on the chopping board for Unity Party. When somebody come from on the other side, George Weah not dead. Yeah. Then you see Unity Party people, then they'll be praising you. They're excited. But when something happens, nothing. Then get down. You see something will happen to your unit. The people, look how they're protecting their own. Then what if death occurs from any one of the Unity Party president, which we're not hoping for? But they are protecting their own. Then if one of them dies, you think they will not show concern? They will take full responsibility. You see Boaka going there. You see Jeremiah going there. They will carry all the wise serene all over the place for the whole world to know that they're going to sympathize with that person. Okay. So that's it. Y'all keep sharing the show. Let's go to the line. Before then, few comments, and then we go. Today is a great day. The world's greatest team is playing FC Barcelona. Not 8 o'clock. If you are a Barcelona fan, you're waiting for 8. You will only hear the game finish. Then you will say, oh, the game is not 8. They put us at 5:45. 5:45. Barcelona game, 5:45. The other people then playing 8 o'clock tonight. We playing the first game, 5:45. Newcastle. We're getting a castle. No. We're not getting in the castle. The castle is in the camp. Military camp. What's greatest? FCB. No team better than FCB on earth. I advise you to come to FCB. I advise you. If you want to be blessed by God. God is a Barcelona fan. Check the color. Check God color. Check the blood of Jesus. What do you see? Red. Paul was a Barcelona fan. If Barcelona ever existed, don't take that serious. Just kidding. Just want to say therapeutic. Just for the laughter. Let's go. Let's take a few of the comments. Then we can go to the line, and then we out. My man. Yeah, you can comment. You can comment on the game. I get time for that one though. Newcastle done. Emmanuel Bro writes, fortunately, the Supreme Court Chief Justice Weah is one of Unity Party government officials who are currently painting an ugly image of our country. So it's working for the opposition. The international community is documenting. Yeah. Gabriel West, they are dull, evil, reckless, and irresponsible. These are the characteristics of the UP clowns. Liberia is back to a tyrannic rule. Rita Hart, I finished talking my own. We Americans like cursing, especially the F word. We know how to use it. Yeah. So freedom of speech is welcome in the USA and practice here daily. No, our culture, our own part of culture ground, you tell anything that people say, even if you say stupid, they say you cursing. So much so, we're so confused in this country, we don't even know the difference. Sure, anything you say, but check the people who, man. Yeah. 2029. Okay, Rita Hart again, honor that, said, Weah returns to the presidency 2029. For sure. Yeah. Tobasi, that is too long. Too long. You want to cut it short so I can just read it with understanding. All right. So let's go to the line 077222399330886304497. The women's line 07779800375. Hello.
Andrew.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Let's
hear you, Chief.
This is two.
Let's hear you.
My fear is this morning is, let's say, the representative they're going to the people is not there. So my fear is
no, Chief. No, I talk on nothing. Only CDC statement. Whether people going there, they're not going there. I know about that one.
Okay, thank you so much, bro.
Hello.
Mr. Andrew?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Andrew, I'm Spencer Mohammed, and I caught Okono, down Coast Spoon Hill, Winter Community. Mr. Andrew, thank you very much. Thank you for your discussion this afternoon. Mr. Andrew, in my mind, the Chief Justice is not putting well. The Chief Justice must be fair to we the Liberians and tell us who carry on the forgery in your office. And those people that carry on the forgery must be investigated.
No, they identified, Spencer, they identified the three persons and he dismissed them. So the question is, they should be put up for prosecution because forgery is a serious crime.
Exactly so. That's why we are going, Mr. Andrew. We must be informed about the kinds of documentation that the guys falsified. What was the magnitude of these cases? And how long these guys have been doing these things, we need to understand it. This is the Chief Justice who put somebody in jail just for insulting his people. Why can't he be fair to prosecute people who committed a heinous crime against the state? Forgery is one of the biggest crimes in any country. So why can't he investigate? Mr. Chief Justice, we want to know the intention and how you guys have been doing it. If you don't do that, some of us will look at you to be an accomplice. It means you have been working behind these guys. You guys have been for years. That's why people have been saying that the judicial system is corrupt. And today, if you don't prosecute these guys, that's what you will say you are not fair. And the next issue that have to do with the IG. Hey, Mr. Andrew, I'm so proud of this IG. This IG, people say he was more experienced. He went to Harvard University. Mr. IG, how will you declare a man person of interest, declaring suspect, and then turn him over to his lawyers? How do you arrive at the point for which to declare a suspect in the absence of autopsy and other reports? How do you arrive at that point? Mr. IG, you guys gave other government over the years, but the way you're proceeding under the belt. In my mind, Unity Party, you guys just lied to come and mock and loot our country. How you guys are looting it. You guys were not fair to us. Everything that you guys said yesterday, you guys are on the contrary. Thank you very much, Mr. Andrew, for always giving us the opportunity to make our voice on national issue. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, thank you.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm Johnny Daly, Unity Party board as you chairman. Oh, my brother, to be fair with you guys, everything had to be on the issue about quality land. the CDC lawmaker are in our hall. I'm not CDC lawmaker and go there. So if you got here, you get Koluba today, yesterday, you said you get Koluba, I'm going to get Koluba today, or whether you're pretty, you get Koluba, I went there, I do this. Okay, so you that go there to see the family too. So then you have a unity party or that unity party, this could be out of our house, this could be but they could to move forward. So when I brought it down, when people having to go there, I don't carry TV, carry Facebook, and they say, oh, I go there today, oh, I come from there, you can't see me, oh. Now everybody, so people do their own. So you have to get the time free for everybody to go there and see what they can do.
All right, Unity Party, man. Thank you. Hello.
Afternoon.
Yes.
My name is Edmoka. I'm the visual expert that is pushing for the return of President Weah, 2029. You know, I don't really understand our leaders in this country. Because if you wanted for the dismissal to be silent, you're gonna get dismissed the people and let them go. But when you are dismissing the person and stating the reason why you dismiss them, then the question will come in, why are we not investigating them to get the detail of what they did? Why if it has caused harm for some people and they will be willing to pursue them too? So it should become clear so that we're gonna be able to know what they did, you know, but you just let them go. Maybe probably they are a close associate or policy, quote unquote. It's not offering well for all. They seem to be happy with this improvement. You're not supposed to be there making people. That was so disgraceful what that man did. And they just let him or he resign. We wish you well, he vote. And why do you harass other people for corruption, for other crimes that they commit? So the people need to come clear, man. If you want to make a unique, quiet, silent for it, just dismiss it and then go. And you just keep quiet for it. But when you bring it to the public, we ask you the question. Let me appreciate my party. That is what we want, because this thing that is happening is a serious issue. We were here, Governor Ellen Johnson Sally were here, President Weah left, Waka entered. The thing that is happening in Lofa, it's a serious thing. So all hands are on deck until we can see the outcome. If it couldn't have been for the media, King's FM and other institutions that push the government because to come up to talk about this particular company that was illegally, according to them, illegally operating there. How come they was illegally operating? Only because we are pushing the issue. So we are watching the situation. We hope that it gets better. But things are not okay in Lofa. Thank you, sir.
All right, Mr. Carr, have a nice day. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Andrew.
Good afternoon.
I'm Jefferson Stepper calling from the Virgin Sugar District number 11. Andrew, the blue that Mr. Baka used on the country is affecting even down to the lawmaker. Can you imagine the lawmaker that want to make some decision? They are buying down to Baka. You see, now, number three, Baka is weak in his leadership. He went Guinea and say, yeah, Baka go on to 100 times, Baka go arrange things, who going Baka 100, 200, 300. Yesterday, they were running behind our common citizen in Lupa. Some of them, they are refugees. They left their normal places. They are out of their places in the bushes. Yesterday, people are stressing in Baka. What kind of leader we have? What's going on? Baka must be able to tell us and get a card to the citizen and then tell us what's going on in Lupa. Because it's troubling. Thank you.
Thank you too for calling. Have a nice day. The African Union Commission chairperson, they've released a statement in that direction to what unfolding. This is the statement. Hold on, let me share that with you. The chairperson of the African Union Commission His Excellency Mahmoud Yusuf Ali welcomes the high-level Tripartite Summit convened on March 16 in Conakry by the heads of state of the Republic of Guinea, the Republic of Liberia, and the Republic of Sierra Leone on strengthening border cooperation and the promotion of stability within the framework of the Mana River Union. The chairperson highly commends the government of Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone for the collective decision to choose the path of dialogue and pursue a peaceful and diplomatic resolution to the ongoing border tensions among their countries, in line with the African Union normative frameworks, including the Consultative Act of the African Union 2000 and the UN Non-Aggression and Common Defense Pact 2009. The chairperson lost the spirit of cooperation, good neighborliness, and respect for shared regional stability demonstrated by the 3 African Union member states, which led to this significant achievement. This milestone underscores the enduring value of African-led solutions to African challenges and reaffirms the principles of peaceful settlement of disputes among member states. The chairperson further recognizes the constructive role played by ECOWAS and international partners whose efforts contributed to this outcome. This peaceful settlement serves as a model for conflict prevention and resolution across the continent and strengthens the foundations for sustainable peace, security, and development ecosystems in the Mana River Union. The statement concluded, the chairperson lauds this collective decision to convene a summit of the Mana River Union within a month, all right, to revitalize the Mana River Union and enhance regular dialogue on peace, security, and development, and reiterates the African Union continued support to the governments and peoples of the 3 West African countries in consolidating this progress and advancing regional peace and security. The statement from the African Union chairperson on the misunderstanding between Liberia and Guinea. Well, let me just inject this, then we go. You have to understand, until you can study personality, one of the things that gave Liberia heartache was its inability to know that Guinean leader, as we have always said, a junta. We told you that transforming, moving from one level to another, it doesn't say the content has changed. The skin, the clothes, from military to civilian clothes, but the character remains the same. That identical individual throughout his life, if you read his profile, he has never had anything civilian life. From his prime to where he is, military, from one high profile missions to another, trained by the very United States, Germany, most of those developed countries around the world militarily. Moreover, he's not the type that would just look at things and say, yes, okay, let's leave it or so. A junta leader is always a junta leader or ruler. So when the issue unfolded, we say you have to be careful. Watch the man you're dealing with. He is a no-nonsense man. Look how he came to power. They overlook it until it got serious. Now, here's another warning. This guy, you think that everything is over. French people just don't leave things. You might hear something unfolding again in another form. They just don't leave things. Just, that's the kind of person he is. That is his character. All right, let's have this break, then we'll go home. It's almost time. We have to make time for the game. Let's have this break, then that we'll be doing it. Where is it? Where is my guy? Let's go. This way, this one. Thank you so much. So let's go home this way. President Joseph Yeman Boakai, Unity Party president, going to mesmerize the Senate tomorrow. He's going to deliver a lecture to them. The Senate and the House of Representatives, Unity Party, Senate, Unity Party, House of Representatives, Unity Party, Legislature. They are before the feet of the president. They bow to the president. If you look at the legislature, the leadership, Unity Party. Senate, leadership, Unity Party. House of Representatives, leadership, Unity Party. So he's going there tomorrow at 1:30. He put in a request to meet with them because they do not have the boys, they do not have the spines to invite him. I've been listening to most of the commentaries, analysis about this Guinea stuff, and people will put the kind of spin from Liberia perspective. They entitled to that. But here is it. Do you know all that Boakai have been doing? Boakai did it because the legislature, besides being a partisan nature, to take on the partisan posture and put on a legislative posture, a nationalistic patriotic posture. Here is it. They should have summoned Mr. President. Mr. President is not above summoning. People, you get it. Governance is not difficult to understand. It is not that when you're president, you are law and gospel. That's how many people think in this country. They think the president is just exempt from everything. Joseph Yeman Boakai can be summoned in this situation. The most responsible and honorable thing, patriotically and nationalistic, the legislature should have done. Who was better? Who in a better position to explain? The president. In other countries, they invite the president with this kind of thing. They invite the president. He will stand over there and explain. He is the chief, and he is the commander-in-chief. Armed forces, they who go inspect the guys. You have a border dispute. You have country to country misunderstanding that was on the brink of war. Who told you that everything a president sent proxy? That's what you people think in this country. And that's why nothing happening. The legislature, that's why it is the first branch of government, has that power. In other countries, they will not invite the defense minister. They will not invite information minister. They will not invite anybody called national security advisor. You will get a summons to the president's office, and the president will go down there and stand and explain. Those people that you are referencing, yes, by reasoning, fine, you're entitled to the A. You're not wrong entirely. But the person that you have gone, the legislature should have invited Mr. President. Because they're sitting over there, they do not know. Even if they know, they choose to go more partisan. So, you know what he's going to do now? He's going to explain two things on the agenda. Watch it. You'll hear it. And then that's it. Two things. One, that Guinea situation and the yellow machine. The House of Representatives, Representative Dixon Sibo, raised a very germane concern, which everybody over there should have been their thought. We've been thinking that way. In the House of Representatives yesterday, when Representative Dixon Sibo was raising that issue, you could see the other moments there. You could see the countenance of the regime speaker. It was uncomfortable. What Representative Dixon Sibo's position was, let's have an understanding of the procurement process. Procurement means to buy. Let us know whether these machines, 285, were procured or friendship thing. Till now, who can give an understanding whether the machines were procured? And even if they were procured, how were they procured? Did they give the layout? They said 285. They did not say pickups and other things were going to be included in that package. If you said 285 machines and there are other things there, it raises concern. It's worth questioning. You have to answer. The rest of the Mumu representatives sat down over there. Brandon Samoka went and did a lecture to them, to lecture them. You could see that Brandon Samoka was emotional. He even wanted to blast them. After the Public Works Minister, Roland Giddings, did his presentation, he was finding it hard because they have a number of sound guys and ladies in that place. The rest, they are mumu, they empty. Some of them ain't even know the meaning of the word procurement. Least to say the other jargons that the people were using. They were just sitting down there with the honorable, sitting down in chamber. Thanks to Representative Mema Briggs Menza, her concern was legitimate, but it's belated. Those are the questions that they needed to raise. Her concern, besides Representative Dixon Sibo, because Dixon Sibo owned that whole thing there. When you call that thing, that 285, do you know that those guys, they had the power to invite Mr. President to go explain all that thing? Who told you when you're president? You just said that anything you say. Even a pin drop or a that pin drop, and the legislature inside this file had a pin drop, they can summon the president. The president is not immune. It's not a junta regime. It's democracy. But our country, the president is never under pressure to do anything right. The president is relaxed in everything because the branches, the two other branches, they bow, they worship the president. They fall. What we have in our culture is what they call in politics patronage system. Meaning the president is the patron. So everybody worships him. Whatever he wants, it happens. That way, you abrogate or you give your responsibility, your power, everything to that person. That's why presidents can have free ride. They said in 6 years, they just enjoy themselves. The president can be someone, the legislature has that power. It does not have to be the people in laboratory fighting here and there. 285 machines, you bring it in the country, they summon the president to go. You go on the repository of knowledge called the internet, ask for some of these things, you'll see president standing or explaining. Just as they can summon minister to go in parliament and explain, they can summon the president. They have the right to summon the president to give them an understanding. Come on, man. They think the people doing here, they're not legislation, man. They're not legislature. They're sorry to say that our country, my own country, but no. We're learning too much from other countries. We're learning too much. And when you see the thing, you just want to find it from Liberia. Because nothing responsible here. Nobody. Liberia is not a model. Liberia is not a legislative model. Look at the guys in parliament. Dixon Sibo is asking sound question. And Dixon Sibo is an economist. Dixon Sibo credential, majority of the guys in that House of Representatives, they can't come close to it. Seasoned economist. Accounting, he inside. So he was asking based on his knowledge, his authority. Mr. Manager for yellow machines, because they had to call Brandon Samoka. He the manager. Probably what Minister Roland Giddings. Let's have a fair appraisal of the procurement of these 285 machines. When the man raising, explaining, giving the his knowledge, professional knowledge. Guess what? The other moment they're sitting down in the place, they're making noise, they're interrupting the man. Oh God, damn. They're interrupting, saying all kind of funny things. Look, that place there, sorry to say, man, majority of the guys over there, they're not responsible at all. It is not the title that you put on. It is the conduct that you exhibit. Your friend sitting down and asking sound questions, and then you interrupting him, making fun. You should be ashamed of yourself. It means that you are not educated to that level. So because of your inferiority complex, you use it to interrupt something going across. You don't want it. After he raised the concerns, he was interrupted many times. He had to sit down. A member representative member breaks, jump on the floor. Her concern was also legitimate sound. The woman said, you said 285, but you did not say pickups. You did not say fire trucks. You did not say broom. You did not say trash can. But we see all of those things inside now. So you have to explain. And the guys were emotional. You see, when you mess up, when you just blunder, you don't know how to explain. Giddings and Brandon Samoka were confused. As usual, I know Brandon Samoka very well. He used to go from one end to another. By the time you asking him critical question, he gets emotional, start to use some words and other things. Most of these guys don't see them like that. They have their own undesirable conduct. It's not because they have top positions. So Mr. President is going there now. Mr. President, they portray it like he's going at the invitation of the Senate. Mr. President goes to the House of Representatives. Mr. President cannot go to a few people legislatively. You hear the legislature has invited the president. What Mr. President going to do down there? A few senators. Yomli Kanga Lawrence, the pro-tem, the vice president, he's the president of the Senate. The yellow machine, instead of calling Mr. President or put a yellow machine aside, getting something started, the people are ready to start releasing bullets into Liberia. Who is the commander-in-chief? The commander-in-chief is President Joseph Yema Boakai, who is best poised to stand before the House of Representatives and explain the situation. The commander-in-chief. The commander-in-chief is not above the legislature, but the legislature feels that it doesn't have that power. It feels that the president is more powerful, so much so that the president in our country becomes inferior when he isn't inferior, but the two branches of government makes him or her inferior. So you're going there tomorrow at 1:30 to go lecture them. It's going to be a fun fair gathering. No serious thing. Look how the legislature is reducing itself. After Brandon Samokai and Roland Giddings left the House of Representatives, guess what the Senate did to Yomli Kanga Lawrence? They call few senators to sit with the manager of the yellow machine, Brandon Samokai. Few senators, not all. If you're thinking a lie, you call the other senators and ask them whether they were in a meeting. Only a few senators were there. Yomli Kanga Lawrence said, the man who always causing George Weah, he said, George Weah ain't do nothing in Grenjide, Zopen or there. James Barney, the pro tem, just what them was 7 or 8 or so, not all the 30. Then they say, you know how they portray it? The senators say the senators, the Liberian Senate is meeting with the manager of the yellow machines. Just few hours after meeting the manager of the yellow machines, what information came out? Joseph Walker going to the Senate. Is that how a president goes to a Senate? Is that how a Senate invites a president? My man, you're better governance in this country, man. You place a serious dent on governance in this country. Too elementary, too petty, too tiny. God, we need to get legislators from outside to come into this country to teach you people at that place. No wonder most of you just sit down there 24/7. You don't even know some of your colleagues speaking the English language too superior for you. You don't even understand anything whatsoever. You're just sitting down there. So all day you're disrupting. See the senators intellectualize. The House of Representatives is a noisy den. Anybody coming into this country, they're just observing the two branches. They will go back and say the Senate, Liberian Senate is more refined than the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives is a noisy ground. They're just there. They see people making a sound salient, very genuine, in the interest of the country. Then you get cowboy yellow machines, many. Like you talking, my man. Yeah, the other person kind of judge. They see people just look at it and say, "Hey, God." No, a good to go to school. Majority of the men are saying what they didn't go to no school. They were just fortunate. Even if they went to school, they didn't even learn nothing good. How your colleagues sitting down? You are intellectualizing. The first law of intellectualism is to respect your colleagues when he's making a position. That's how you understand. And you will know how to give your own position if you should do a counter to his position. But if you keep on disrupting, you are bullying yourself. When the floor is given you, you will not know what to say. Because you will have already clouded yourself by the noise, the screaming, the shouting, the showmanship, just so you'll say, the men are legislator. So Bwaka going there tomorrow, yeah, just so you know. He going there to go lecture them. That executive mansion sent in the request to them. The yellow machine bull. You go ask Roland Giddings. And I said, man, you saying it? Yeah, saying it on the radio. That's secret. You go ask Roland Giddings. They will tell you. Go ask Brandon Samokai. They want engineer that thing. Yomli Kanga lawyer for Bwaka to go there to go lecture them. That's how a president should go to a place. So the Bwaka simply telling there, saying you know your function. We come to you. We made a request, we come with lecture you. And you want lecture, and you have for yellow machines, and you're obsessed with it. We come in lecture you now. We come in lecture you move from there. So all of them had the president coming, the president coming. What better president? I see you, man. So what's the time? 8 after 5. Let's go home. Let's go home. Honestly, I do not like African football. It is not because African football is bad. It's not because African football is not doesn't have organization. No, it has good administration. It has talent. But it is because when I was coming up, I just focused on Western. That's the only reason. Even African music, I don't like African music. I don't listen to African music except by accident. It's because I've used to listening to Western. Anything you devote your time to, it becomes part of you. That's what devotion is. It changes, or it gives you a fixated preference. So the African Cup, even our country, the African Cup of Nations, I don't watch it, but I hear people talking the game. People, but I know all of the African Cup. I've not sat down one day to watch a game for even 5-10 minutes. No, I've not. Even when my favorite player, African player Samuel Eto'o, his country Cameroon, will only check. People, oh, Cameroon this, or Cameroon this, Cameroon that. Go, Samuel Eto'o scores. No. Liberian football? No. It's because I focus on the European. What I'm about to explain to you is not I'm against. No, that's why I thought to share my preference. The African Cup of Nations ended. Fine tournament. Great talents. At the close of the day, Senegal was stripped of the title. The champions of the African Cup of Nations. Senegal is no longer the champions. In an unprecedented ruling, Senegal, according to CAF, is stripped of the title as winner of the 2020 the African Cup of Nations. When was it played? Senegal beat Morocco in the final, but in the last few minutes, Senegal players, out of anger, felt cheated, felt the referee wasn't officiating right, and most of his decisions were going against them. They saw it as a biased referee, and so there was a temporary stop. The coach called the players off, but that did not last long, few seconds. They did not leave the field. Their captain spoke to them, and then they returned. The game ended. Senegal won. Yesterday, we heard that based on Article 82, Senegal was stripped because they violated Article 82. Let's hear from the BBC West African football correspondent, Isaac Fanning, on this whole situation.
In a statement released late on Thursday night, CAF said that Senegal are declared to have forfeited the final match, with the result a 3-0 win in favour of Morocco. They say that Senegal infringed on Article 82 of regulation of the Africa Cup of Nations, which states if a team refuses to play or leaves the ground before the end of regulation time without the referee's authorization, it will be considered the loser and eliminated from the competition. The Senegalese Football Federation say that they're going to lodge an appeal with the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Ibrahim Khan is a lawyer and human rights expert in Dakar, and he described the mood in Senegal a short while ago.
People were very, very surprised and at the same time outraged about this decision, because the lengths it took to the CAF to make that decision, the kind of decision which is unprecedented in football in Africa, and I can even say probably in football in the world. You know, you won the cup on the ground, the referee decided to continue the game Everybody played until the end of the game. When the team won the game, he was given the trophy. And then 2 months later, they changed their own decision.
Let's speak to someone who has pretty good knowledge around CAF statutes. The ex-head of their disciplinary committee, Raymond Hack, joins us on the program. Raymond, have CAF made the right decision, do you think?
Well, let's put it this way, the circus continues. Firstly, the only person who can stop a game is the referee. The fact that the referee allowed the players to come back on, continued, afterwards they went into extra time. He is the only person that should be able to stop the game. The appeal board have ruled that Article 82 was contravened in the sense that the players left the field of play without the authority of the referee. Well, you know, you would have to see the referee's report, but looking at it from an outside point of view, if the referee allowed the players to come back on and continued the game, then he didn't conclude the game. Also, Article 84 says that if a team contravenes the provisions of Article 82 and 83, it doesn't say 82 or 83. It says and 82 and 83. They shall be eliminated from the competition. Well, they certainly didn't contravene the provisions of Article 83. So, you know, you can't decide, well, I'm only using one aspect of the law and I'm not using the other aspect of the law.
For clarity, just what is Article 83, just for clarity?
Article 83 says a team that is not present on the ground dressed to play at the time fixed for the kickoff or 15 minutes later shall forfeit the game. The referee shall register the absence of the team and shall write it in his report. Now, that didn't apply. So Article 83 doesn't apply. But 84 says the team which contravenes the provisions of 82 and 83 shall be eliminated and the team shall lose the game 3-0. Well, 83 wasn't brought into it. So you can't just take one side. You know, you say, I'm using my left hand, but I'm not using the right hand.
So how do you think they came to this decision then?
Well, the perception that is going around, and I think is political interference. Because you've got to look at the situation and say, well, you know, how come all the Moroccan fines were reduced? For example, a ridiculous one, the appeal in regard to the lasers are partially upheld. Well, how can you partially? There was either lasers or there wasn't lasers. You can't say there were partial lasers. The interference of the ball boys was partially upheld. Did the ball boys interfere with play? Yes or no? You can't decide, well, it's partial interference and then go and reduce the fines. Obviously, the Senegalese Football Association will take this matter to the Court of Arbitration, and obviously they will make a decision. But in the end, a lot will depend on the referee's written report. But the fact that the referee allowed the game to continue and they went into the extra time gives the impression that he was satisfied that the game will continue. He is the only person who can call an end to the game, not the authorities, not the governing bodies, only the referee. Otherwise, you're going to have a situation worldwide where every time somebody disagrees with the decision, they're going to, go on appeal or take it to court or something ridiculous like that. The game should be won on the field of play, not in a boardroom.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Expert. You couldn't have put it any. Everything depends on the referee report. The game continued. Senegal did not leave the field for the rest of the minutes. That's why they quoted Article 83, that if the team is not on the field, the team is not there 15 minutes before, then Article 83 comes into full effect. The people were on the field. Temporary stoppage cannot be used against or as a straitjacket punishment, then what would you say in European football? Then European football, we should see teams forfeiting points and their domestic associations and FIFA banning teams. We've seen it many times. We've seen protestation for sometimes 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. And thereafter the game continues. And if anything, if any action will be taken, that will depend on the report of the referee. Domestic association, they depend on the wait for the referee report before they can make a determination on anything in accordance with the rule. You cannot leave the referee report out and make a decision on whatever the article. Then it means that you have some kind of hidden preference. You see black? You see black? Yes, deliberate racism. I'm saying it. You see black? You can't. You know what it does to African football? One of the reasons we don't like African football, personally, I don't like it. I don't watch African football. It's not to say European football is perfect or they have the perfect organizations in the world. No, they have their own anomalies or errors, but they go in accordance. They use their discretion. We have seen stoppages up to 7 minutes. Sometimes you're watching a game. Somebody just walk in and say, oh, what, 10 minutes extra time? And then you hear a fan will say, no, there were too many stoppages in the game. The game is stopped for almost 6-7 minutes. So why the people will not say that the game was stopped and this team, Barcelona walk on the field, or Real Madrid walk off the field, or Arsenal walk off the field, or Tottenham walk on the field, or Liverpool walk off? Why they will not say it? They have the roots. When you punish the people, you strip the people of the title. Then you give a score that they had to call them that Morocco can't even score against Senegal. 3-0. How did you arrive at that number? How did you arrive at that score 3-0? Is it in the rule that says when a team forfeits like that, that the score, the awarded score, because the awarded score there, the awarded score is 3-0? African man, yeah, Africa. Che. Just strip the people of the title for nothing. That's why we like European football. You hear the people say that the decision was taken based on the report of the referee. You hear that? They will not take, the FA will not take any decision until the referee makes his report. If somebody stepped on a pressing foot and broke it, and it's not in a referee report, the FA will not consider it in anything, because it's not in the referee report. They go by what the referee report. You can take that kind of decision. You know what you have done to African football? You kill the game. So somebody wakes up and say XYZ, then you go. That's why the guy said it was purely political. It's unfair, man. It's unfair. Air treatment of Senegal. Not right at all.
Article 83 says a team that is not present on
3, just for clarity.
I'm only using one aspect of the law, and I'm not using the other aspect of the law.
For clarity, just what is Article 83, just for clarity?
Article 83 says a team that is not present.
For clarity, just what
of the law. So, you can't decide, well, I'm only using one aspect of the law, and I'm not using the other aspect of the law.
For clarity, just what is Article 83, just for clarity?
Article 83 says a team that is not present on the ground dressed to play at the time fixed for the kickoff or 15 minutes later shall forfeit the game. The referee shall register the absence of the team and shall write it in his report. Now, that didn't apply. So Article 83 doesn't apply. But 84 says the team which contravenes the provisions of 82 and 83 shall be eliminated and the team shall lose the game 3-0. Well, 83 wasn't brought into it. So you can't just take one side. You say, I'm using my left hand, but I'm not using the right hand.
So how do you think they came to this decision then?
Well, the perception that is going around, and I think it's there, is political interference. Because you've got to look at the situation and say, well, how come all the Moroccan fines were reduced? For example, a ridiculous one, the appeal in regard to the lasers are partially upheld. Well, how can you partially? There was either lasers or there wasn't lasers. You can't say there were partial lasers. The interference of the ball boys was partially upheld. Did the ball boys interfere with play? Yes or no? You can't decide, well, it's partial interference and then go and reduce the fines. Obviously, the Senegalese Football Association will take this matter to the Court of Arbitration, and obviously they will make a decision. But in the end, a lot will depend on the referee's written report. But the fact that the referee allowed the game to continue and they went into the extra time gives the impression that he was satisfied that the game will continue. He is the only person who can call an end to the game, not the authorities, not the governing bodies, only the referee. Otherwise, you're going to have a situation worldwide where every time somebody disagrees with the decision, they're going to, go on appeal or take it to court or something ridiculous like that. The game should be won on the field of play, not in a boardroom.
And you want to ask, why? Why were they hasty to impose fines on the two countries, and Senegal carried the heaviest of fines? You could have just acknowledged what happened and announced an investigation. You impose fines. So what becomes of the fine you impose on Senegal? So substantial, an amount of money. Now you have stripped the people of the title. So are you going to withdraw the fines? Because they've already paid. Look at CAF. No wonder why the white man will always be better and people go to the white man than the black man, because the black man is always against their fellow black to satisfy certain people. That's why the guy said it was purely political, the pressure the Moroccan people put on CAF, that everything should work in their favor. How is it going to be? How can you win a title like that, a title that you did not win on the field, and then it was given to you? How will you feel? What kind of celebration will you have? Now, if they took it, which the guy said they're going to take the case to the Court of Arbitration, I know it's not going to go Senegal way again. Because they want to be protective of certain things. They want to be protective of the image of CAF. So it would not be that they would take the title from Morocco after they have stripped Senegal of it and give it back to Senegal. So it will not be about anything sporting again. It will be now politics versus protecting the image of CAF. CAF image credibility will not come into question. So the Court of Arbitration, it will play over there that the Court of Arbitration will go with CAF decision. It will not be overturned. Now it will be left with Senegal to take a decision, either to be a part, participate in it, or take some kind of decision. I think Africa needs to have 2-3 competitions that's like we have on the European scene, because there's one thing here, it can be too subjective. It was not right at all. All right. So that's it. That we go into our white people game, and the women has organization. The women depend on the referee report. Tonight, the world's greatest team, FC Barcelona. The name too fine. The name fine. Beautiful name. Appealing name. Barcelona. That name, other one that names it, Real Madrid. Barcelona. The boys on what's the time now? 5:30. 5:30. So I will see you. 5:30. 15 minutes from now, we face Newcastle at the Nou Camp. The greatest team, the most clinical team. The only team that plays football, and everybody, the people just like the team. They like to see the team play. Yeah. The team has players that can attract. Real Madrid does not have players that can attract. They're just there as a team. Barcelona have Messi. Messi drew 99.9% of the young boys to Barcelona. You go watch again, see the small beginner. Let Messi there. Let Messi. Number 10. Let Messi. Messi left the scene. Another short man. They just looking with short people that can attract the beginner onto the team. Messi left. Another short man came in again. Lamine Yamal. All the beginner that men are Lamine Yamal. But you ain't get anybody to attract. So I don't want to bring from France. You can't do nothing. Oh, hey man. Diallo, what we go in like bro? I see you that sporting. I was feeling with the politics. Diallo was voting me yesterday. The Becky start playing Chelsea anthem. Hey man. So how Chelsea beat PSG? What? 3-0? European champion, UEFA champions? 3-0? They both beat you 5. 5, the first leg, second leg, 3. Hey man, Chelsea. You deserve that thing. You sell Chelsea to us, man. You sell Chelsea to Kings FM. Will nurture that team grow, be competitive, because that team finish. You take inexperienced man, you say he coach. You finish, oh. Chelsea done. All the English teams going home. All. You say, oh, but Arsenal beat 2-0. Yeah, Arsenal going home in the last 8. The Arsenal boss stopped there. The last 8. Mercedes going home. They robbed Mercedes yesterday. That referee. Real Madrid was afraid. Mercedes was going to score the 3 goals. The people had 2 clear penalties. Clear! Referee closed eye on it. And Real Madrid penalty was fair. Not because Baga fair, but that thing was fair. The man stretched his hand. That Silva stretched his hand. That was fair penalty. Fair. 1 million times fair. 1 million times fair. That was fair penalty. Had he not stretched his hand, it wouldn't have been penalty. Let's assume he held his hand like this, and the ball came and hit his hand. The referee wouldn't have blown for penalty. No, he wouldn't have. Under no condition would the referee have blown for penalty. But he intentionally, willfully, theatrically extended his hand, and where his hand was, the ball was going straight in the net. The ball. So if his hand had remained like this, the ball was passing. You look at it, you watch the image over and over. The women show it over and over that the black men get VAR, women get VAR. They show it over and over. You can see a hand. He intentionally stretched a hand. So that was fair penalty. They gave fair 1 million times that penalty was legitimate. The only error I saw from that referee, Man City had clear penalty from the beginning. The first 3-4 minutes, clear, he should have awarded. But again, that the referee, he can't do anything about it. He submitted his report. UEFA accepted his report. He put in a report that Real Madrid had penalty. No. The one he put about the FIFA accepted. So how you go? You see how the women unique? But tonight, hey, I see you. No, not tonight, this afternoon. I see you. Hey, SCV. What's great as all my FC Barcelona fans, let's get ready. So today is what? Wednesday? Okay. So the news is on at 6. Join us, please, at 6 o'clock, King's Newsroom. Developments unfolding here in Liberia and out at 6 o'clock. And then at 6:50, Isiaka Sharif and Josephine Pello Johnson in with CDC Hour. You want to form part of it, CDC Hour. That will be at 6:50. And then at 8 o'clock, the doctor himself is in. The teacher of the land, the light of the nation, the evangelist, and Anthony at law, A.B. Weah, with Face the Issues at 8 tonight. That's it. Thank you for being with us. We're back tomorrow if God permits. This is how we go home on the show.
Be informed, be ethical, serve your country. Oh. A nation is not built by spectators. It is built by citizens. Citizens who understand that freedom carries responsibility. That liberty demands character. And that a republic survives only when its people choose duty over comfort. So today we remember the examples that came before us. Be a peacemaker, like Suakoko, who understood that strength is not always a sword. Sometimes it is the wisdom to prevent the sword from being drawn. Be stoic, like Arthur Barclay, steady when the storms came, calm when the nation needed clarity. Be wise like King Mamudu, who governed with patience and judgment, knowing wisdom is the compass of the people. Keep your word like King Boatswain, because a country cannot stand if the word of his people means nothing. Preserve the land for Africa, like King Peter, who understood that land is not merely soil. It is inheritance, it is sovereignty, it is the future of generations yet unborn. Fighting justice like Joseph Jenkins Roberts, who stood against the slave trade and defended the dignity of Africa in a hostile world. Be like William Tyrrell, who refused to stand silent. While human beings with body and soul, freedom survives because someone chooses to resist.
The latest news to your favorite tunes. We've got your back morning, night, and afternoon. Join our family